Blog Talk Radio.
Hello and welcome to Rolling with a Diva. I'm Sabrina Williams and I'm your host. And for the next 30 to 90 minutes, we're going to do some great interviews, enjoy some great music, and just tell you guys how much we appreciate you for listening. Have a good time and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. How are you? On the phone, we have Miss Denise J Bryson, and she is the author of In the Footsteps of a Killer. Hi, Miss Denise.
Hi. How are you, Miss Sabrina?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so glad to have you on the show. I'm a little tired from driving back from Arizona, but I am just excited because I read your book, and that is just wow, that is a fantastic book. So we're going to be coming back. We're going to be coming back to talk about that after we have a commercial and we play a song. So, but just before you guys do, before we go to commercial, I wanted to thank everybody for listening in. It's about 95 today in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're on the phone live. And so if you guys want to call in, the number is 646-787-8479, or you can listen on Blog Talk Radio on the Internet. Today we're talking about, with the author Footsteps of the Killer, and also we're going to talk about people's morals. I have been to South Dakota, and I know already who goes to South Dakota. I did, okay, because you guys, I had to see Mount Rushmore. And then I went to Kingman, Arizona. And, you know, wow, people and their morals, and it's morals in relationships or when it comes to dating. And we're going to talk about that after we talk to Miss Denise. But I want to thank, Heavenly, I almost forgot, Heavenly Travel, which is my travel agency, and for sponsoring Rolling with the Diva. So for all your travel needs, you guys can give me a call, and I will help you out. And for those dream vacations, let me do the research, let me help you plan, and let me help you get on the right side of the sun in case you want to see the sun go down at 11:30 in Ireland versus 2 p.m. in Greece. All right, we're going to play a song. It's called Send Me with Lady Cassandra, and we'll be right back.
Tell men about dreams. You use Moses to lead the children of Israel. You brought the Hebrew boys out of the fiery furnace just to show the king that they would not bow. You brought Daniel out of the lion's den just to prove that you are real. So I'm a
All right, that was Lady Cassandra Webb with Lord Send Me. And I know I'm asking God to send me to Tahiti and Copenhagen, Denmark in the next year. So all you guys, if you want to, like, contribute to my fund, I'm just kidding. I'm making fun of the people that I see on the web page with going, saying go fund me for all kinds of things. So I just thought it was funny. It was a joke. Don't nobody do that. All right, Miss Denise. I'm sorry. I am just way out of control today. I was drinking my diet root beer to get a little hype. And so, So Denise Bryson, she lives in Detroit, and she is a flight attendant with a major airline. She began writing in the 4th grade. At least she was trying to learn. I think I was trying to find a husband. She enjoys reading the dark side of fiction as well as writing it, paranormal, horror, and supernatural. She grew up reading Stephen King, and I swear to God, the movie Christina still scares me, and when I see cars like that, I run. Stephen King and watching TV shows like One Step Beyond. Wow. Being a creative horror is not an easy tag to where most of her friends think that she is a little weird, and her best friend calls her creepy. Well, you know what? It's okay to be weird. Denise accredits her life of horror to her mom and being dropped on her head. And 2 times as a kid. I'm done, Denise. Stop. Denise has always been a doer. She is an artist, a singer, and a band dancer. She is a model, Miss Teen Pageant, and sings karaoke. When she is not chasing after the ultimate next thing, Denise is watching her favorite sport, hockey. She's a wild and avid fan of the Detroit Redwings and was once asked, what does a sister know about hockey? And whoever asked that, look, sisters know about sports. Those good ones do. Denise is currently working on her sequel to her newly released novel, In the Footsteps of a Killer, a paranormal thriller. Denise, welcome to Rolling with the Diva. I'm honored that you're here. Your book was amazing. I gave it a 10+. I would have gave it a 20, but I didn't want people to think like, oh, my God, that lady doesn't know how the numbers work. And so I just want to tell you your book was amazing. Leah, which is the main character, when she was 4 years old, well, everybody has to read the book, but I'm just giving you a synopsis. At the same time, Leah and this bad man, and I'll let Denise talk about it, they were struck with lightning. All right, Denise, tell everybody where you're from and tell us what's behind the footsteps of a killer.
Oh, goodness. Well, first, thank you so much, Sabrina, for having me on. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm so glad you enjoyed the book. When I first, it came to me in a dream vision or whatever you want to call it, and I dreamt parts of it. And when Leah was 4, kids are wandering around. They sneak out their cribs, and she's sneaking around, and she stuck a fork in an electrical socket. On a stormy night, at the exact same time, this serial killer dude was getting fried for his crimes, and the two of them, through the electrical current and the cosmos, they got connected. So poor little Leah, from that moment, couldn't get rid of the killer, Albert, and that's how the story starts.
And you know what's interesting? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I'm like you said, I'm from Detroit, and started writing young, didn't take it seriously until I got into my mid-20s, but now it's like a passion. It's not like a passion, it is a passion, and I'm just compelled to write. It's amazing.
Oh, wow. The book, I'm not reading the end part, but there's this part that it just kept going back to me, and it's on page 63. The second drawing she showed them was of two figures, one with a red crayon line in the black hand of the one figure, and the other figure did not have circles for eyes like the rest. The one had crooked lines drawn at a slant with squiggles for hair. A lady. In fact, all of Leah's pictures seem to show the one figure with a red line in its hand and another laying down with squiggles representing hair. That was when Leah was younger. And your detail, I know you said you started writing when you were young, and it came to it in a dream, but you have an amazing sense of just, of like detail in of drawing the listener in. Who taught you that, or is that just a gift you have?
I just think it's a gift. I never took writing in school because I was venturing into other things, and I never took the writing classes I probably should have taken. I did sign up for some later in life, and I just don't. It just has always come to me. It's been something that description has always been something that's in my head.
Right. No, it's amazing, and I like how you brought a sense of loving and a sense of God into the book and trying to help. It was a good and bad. That's why I really was attracted to it, because when I first spoke to you and you were just so humble and sent me the book, and I was like, as I read it, there was a fight between good and evil, and it wasn't just like the normal fight. It was, you could tell that she's really struggling with her family who brought her up in God, and her not being the truth for a while, but then at the same time you have Satan basically trying to call for her and ask for her, and it's all of these things that was just brought together, and I like how you did that. And that, to me, that's unusual for most people who do write paranormal, murder mysteries, fiction thrillers like that, to bring God in. So why did you do that?
Well, the very first book I actually wrote was called Dark Reflections. And it took me well over 20 years to actually start it and get to the point where I said, the end. But it was very dark. I still like it. I mean, it's a good book, I think. But it was very dark.
Yes,
and at the time, I had started really going to church more and getting more into my spiritual self. And it came to me that evil cannot exist without good. And without good, man has no hope. So my next one, I was like, I have got to put hope. And in God, there is always hope, and there's faith, and there's love. I had to put him in there to counterbalance the evil that exists, because evil doesn't exist without good.
That's true. It really doesn't. You're absolutely right. I mean, and that's the ultimate thing that people don't realize. And when Satan was with the Book of Job, I don't know why lately I'm just brought back to the Book of Job. I think it was when I talked to Pastor Cedric on the show when we were talking about his clothesline. And I don't know if a lot of people realize in the Book of Job was asked for by Satan, because basically Satan was pissed off that Job was so good and he felt that he could break him. And so 39 chapters later, he's still over there tormenting him and doing evil things, which I have to honestly say, as I read Job like 3 times straight in a row, and I'm thinking, I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to talk to God about literally, dude, I'm going to need you to have your boy back off. This is really evil. This is not right. I've lost 2 families. I've lost all my things. I'm thinking, there goes my Camaro.
We need to talk about this. Right.
I'm thinking, but the whole time Job didn't do that. He tried to keep a sense of his love for God. And it's funny because as you, and I'm not telling anybody the end, but the funny thing is, I want people to read it because they'll see it for themselves. There was something that happened with the 3 characters that, to me, switched everything up at the toward the end, because the least one you expected to be more deep with God was.
Right.
And that person is going to mean a lot in the next book. I'm already saying there's going to be a next book. She is writing another book. But it was just interesting. I just was very thrilled. Look at me, I'm like, get another book, please. Like with Stephen King, like when he did as much as I was so terrified, and I was chewing my nails watching the car Christina or Cujo. Do you remember Cujo?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so watching Christina the car, but at the very end, he made a twist, and it was like the least what you were expecting, and was like with that, and I fell out on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, and the book ended. Oh wow, I wanted to go call you and wake you up. Did you finish yet? Because I need this. I need this to come on now, and that is a sign of a good book. I'm gonna tell you what. and I have to be honest. Did you know? And I'm sure you did, but did you know that in L.A., California, there was a killer who mimicked some of the supernatural traits that you wrote in the book?
Oh, really?
I
didn't know, honestly.
A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people are lately finding out things about me. They're like, I love race cars, fast cars, motorcycles, men with beards, and jets, okay? So they don't reveal another thing to people. I believe in God. I truly believe in Lord Jesus Christ, but I also believe that there are supernatural forces that are in the world, and that sometimes people do give themselves over to the good supernatural and to the bad supernatural. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does, which is another reason why I had to bring elements of faith and God and love into my writing, because I don't want to slip down that slippery slope. No,
you don't. And it's really fun to be. And I just, as you read that book, I'm gonna tell you, the book, I understand was a book on, the supernatural, thriller, all that, murder. But at the same time, the book had me questioning, where do you really stand with what you believe in, Sabrina, as far as the supernatural, as far as with God, and where should you stand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's really funny how God will give us something to put. There's no coincidences in life. I don't believe that,
absolutely not.
I believe we met because we're both hockey fans, and we both sisters that can sit at the hockey game now, and I'll be so happy.
I know, we gotta go.
And Barry Manilow is in concert soon. Okay. Too. But you know what? I cannot believe, and God knows my depth of loving to read. So I've been literally researching and looking up some of the books that people have written on serial killers, and these people's mind, wow. Some of these killers are like, I feel bad for you in your little childhood, or what childhood you didn't have, and some of them, there was no rhyme or reason why they did it. They just became serial killers. They had some of the perfect lives.
Yep.
So sometimes you think that serial killers are just, oh my God, they just happened, and it was their parents. No, some of them had nothing to do with that. It just had to do with that they had a dark moment and they went with it. What you love Stephen King, but what other books of authors that have impacted you? And they don't have to be necessarily, murder, mystery, or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, when I was in school as a kid, one of the first books I ever read was Lord of the Flies.
Oh, my God. I could never finish that book.
Freaked me out. Oh, my gosh. That book totally freaked me out. I was unnerved for weeks by that book.
I couldn't read
boys being left. Oh yeah, it was a mess. And then I read another one called Swan Song by Robert McCameron, I think it is. And his book was a post-apocalyptic type book. And I think I read that after I saw the movie with Charlton Heston and Omega Man. I think I read the book after I saw Omega Man, or before it, somewhere around the same time. And that just had my mind blown.
Wow.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if something like that were to happen? And, with this grid thing going out a couple of years ago here in the States, we were in the black. And what if that were to happen in real life? So, yeah.
You know what? You remember the books, oh my God, it was a Christian series books on he still writes them, but people are getting after him. Oh my God, what is the name of those books? They were the guy would start out with the guy on the airplane, and certain people going to heaven, and then I can't even remember that, but Left Behind.
Left Behind. Yeah, yes.
Those books bothered me because of the fact that they were deep, and there again was a battle with the good and the evil, and I was pissed because sometimes the evil would win, and then you have to wait for the next book, and then it was like, okay, the good wins, and it goes back and forth and back and forth, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, I just Tim LaHaye, that's his name, a really good author on those books. I mean, but this Mr. Denise's book, In the Footsteps of a Killer, I mean, it is amazing. Now, tell us about your publisher, Artistic World Publishing.
Artistic World Publishing, yes. It's a new company. It's headed up by Carla Dean and her assistant, Audrey Ford. I don't even remember how I found them. I was looking, and I'd already sent submissions to the big book companies, Simon and Schuster's, and all those Penguin. I'd already sent stuff out to those guys, and I got the traditional thank you. Well, don't call us, we'll call you. And I said, you know what, Denise? Maybe you need to find somebody a little smaller, who's a little more hungry, and you can all grow together. And I found Artistic Words, and the ladies have been phenomenal ever since. It's just been an uphill climb for all of us. And we're getting ready to put Artistic Words Publishing on the map.
Yeah, you are. Now, tell me, what's the hardest thing about being an author, and what tips would you have to offer to somebody who wants to write books?
Oh, okay. Well, probably the hardest thing is sitting down and actually doing the writing. When I'm home, there is always something that pops up that I've got to go handle, I've got to go do, I've got to go take control of, I've got to calm down. Like you said earlier, I'm a flight attendant. So I do the longer trips with the longest layovers I can possibly find, because guess what? When I'm 3,000 miles away, I can't do a thing. You can call me all you want to, and I'm going to say, you know what, you got to handle it. I can't do nothing until I get home, and then I write. So I take my layovers. I usually do my Amsterdam trips, and I go over there for 27 hours, and I write like a fiend.
Wow.
Write like a fiend. As far as a tip for somebody new, I'd say if you're still in school, take classes to learn not only the writing, but the business of writing, because writing the story is only the first half. You've got the words, you've got the idea, you've got the beginning, the middle, the end. After that, what happens? That's the part that people need to be, if they're going to write, they need to be educated on, because it's a business.
Okay.
It's a business, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get lost in the sauce. Like I said, luckily for me, I ran into the ladies at Artistic Words Publishing, and I've been learning from them, and it's been phenomenal.
Wow. Now, we know that you're writing the next book, but do you see yourself writing a third book, or do you see yourself going another different way with something else?
It's been suggested for a third book. I'm not sure. I wasn't even sure about the second one, but my mom, she's a big horror fan.
Still waiting.
I'm sorry?
I'm still waiting. I'm on the floor still waiting. I need this book. I'm going to need a second one. I need it.
Well, the second one is called Through the Eyes of a Killer. And we find our two subjects, Leah and Albert, once again at odds. However, there's the introduction of a new character, and I'm not going to say who he is. You're just going to have to wait. But he's extremely diabolical. and he's an instigator. He keeps, can I say shit? He keeps shit going, and
oh wow,
he is a driving force in a lot of what's going to happen in that second book. So, but it's yeah. But I didn't even see a second one. My mom read the first one, like I said, and she and I used to tease. I was actually never really dropped on my head. I fell down a stairwell when I was about 4. That was my own fault for trying to race up the back stairs. But Mom read it, and she was like, "Okay, before I tell you what I think, let me ask you a question." And I go, "What?" She goes, "Did I do this to you?" I go, "Yeah, Blanche, you did."
Yeah, Blanche, you did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you did, Blanche. But then when we laughed, and she said, "Okay, well, there's got to be a sequel." And Lord love her, she was able to read the first one, and the sequel is definitely they're definitely going to be dedicated to her as well, because I wouldn't even have planned a sequel if she hadn't said something. Third one, I don't know.
You know what? You're an amazing writer, and you need to really embrace that. And I really, I would actually, as I take my blanket and my bear to scary movies, I would take my blanket and my bear to watch this at a movie theater with you in it. Because I really do. I don't care what people say. If I'm going to watch a horror movie at home, I'm with my bear and blanket, and people don't judge me. I tell people, because you know what? At least I have something to hold on to. You throwing your popcorn all around and all of us being scared. But
right.
Okay, I know if this was in the movie theater, oh my God! I'm telling you right now, this book would be, oh Lord Jesus! I really, really thought about it, and I'm gonna say that Halle Berry or Angela, what's her name? Yeah, those two need to try to play the main roles when she gets older. And then I'm telling you, because I'm telling you right now, wow, it's a great book, and I can't say enough. I mean, people I've actually reread the book, and I missed a couple of things. So because I'm hoping that you'll get to the sequel. I don't have to read it a third time. Because I would tell you, man, I'm such a creature of habit. If anybody has seen not Exterminator, but it's with Denzel Washington, and it's he's coming out with a sequel of his book. Of his movie. Anyway, what is the book? I can't even. Anyway, this movie I've watched 39 times.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a creature. So your book I've already read 2. I'm probably going to read 3, 4, 5 until I get the other book. I'm a creature of what I like. And then I said, oh my God, I missed that part that she did. Okay.
And that's what happens when you do reread. You find things that you missed the first time because you might have been reading fast, or you might have, you do find things. That's so funny.
So I was like, okay, I'm very honored. Literally, she came on. I really appreciate
thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. You always crack me up online with your posts, and I'm like, okay, here she is in the air again. So like, what did they do this time? It cracks me up. You have a great sense of humor, and you just bring a life to your books and to people, and I really appreciate you just coming on. So now, do you have where we can find you on social media?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, like you said, I'm on Facebook. I've got two pages. And both pages are public. I'm an open book, basically. So you can look for me at Denise J Bryson, or you can look for me at author Denise J Bryson. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, but barely. I'm on this other site called Stage 32, barely. To get a copy of the book, I have a PayPal account that you can go to. And can I do that now?
Please. Yes, because people need to get the book so when they see the movie, because when I go to the, the red carpet, I'm going to be saying, do you read the book? Because I'm going to need everybody to read.
Absolutely. I'm looking, girl. I'm waiting on that red carpet. I'm waiting on that red carpet. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there because I'm like telling you right now with my bear and my blanket, okay? As I'm interviewing people. That is awesome.
Sorry,
the PayPal address is paypal.me/artisticwordspub/14.95. I also have a website called oneblackRose.webstarts.com. Can't afford to put it all in just my name yet, so I'm still being housed by webstarts. But that's oneblackRose.webstarts.com. And I'm excited that you're excited. You just I'm sitting over here with this big old giant smile on my face. If I had lipstick on, it'd be in my hair.
I'm gonna tell you because it is a really, and it actually flows. I mean, I'm not a book critic, but when I do, I get to read a lot of different authors' books. But this book flows. It kept you waiting. I mean, I'm reading the last chapter of one. It's like chapter 28, and I'm peeking into chapter 29. I was like going, whew, okay, all right, okay. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to read the end yet. And I think it was the last 7 pages. Okay, I'm going to read the end. And then go back because I was getting so, like, oh, my God. And I was like, I can't do it. I got to stick with this. But it really, really, I mean, I stayed up, like, just reading because this book was really, really good. And that's what, what the funny thing is that everybody has something they like, but to me, it doesn't matter, because I really couldn't have said, oh, my God, I like horror books or anything. But after reading this, I'm going to tell you, I've been over there. I know Barnes & Nobles would like me to buy the book. They don't, you know what? Don't have Starbucks in there so I can read the book at the same time, and then I would buy the book, okay? So, I didn't have because I come in with the book, right? I come in with your book, right? And the lady, I guess, some lady had been watching me come in, and I'm leaving the store. She comes out, ma'am, you didn't pay for the book. I was like, what are you talking about? I go, this book? I go, this is. And she goes, oh, I said, no, this is my book. She goes, well, you didn't. I said, ma'am, it was in my purse. And she goes, well, what is this book? And I go, here, look. She goes, oh. And so she goes up to the front desk. Do we have this book? And the lady says, no. And she goes, ma'am, where'd you get this book? And I said, read this. She goes, oh. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
She's like, oh. So she was just flabbergasted. She goes, how did you get that? Oh, because I know the author, and I'm reading it for her to give a review on Amazon, ma'am. And I'm not going to come in. This is what I said. I'm not going to come in here and steal books from from Barnes & Noble so I can go to jail and be somebody's girlfriend and probably become a serial killer myself because I have to escape from prison. Well, that's what would happen, ma'am. If she started busting up laughing, because she should me to jail, I'm going to become a serial killer, and I'm going to kill everybody. Don't touch me, because I'm telling you right now.
No, that's right.
The jail made her a serial killer, because I will tell you what, they would never realize that. So, ma'am, I'm not stealing it. She was like, well, what's the book about? And I told her, and she goes, oh, my God, that looks... I go, well, you follow her on Facebook. Go get the book. And I said, here you can. I said, you work in the store. It's not like you can't go get it. I mean, so she was laughing.
They can contact me.
Yeah, so I was just laughing.
So funny.
She was like, oh, and she goes, because she said she heard me at one time, like when I was reading the book, one time I went, oh, my God, no. And people were looking at me. I was like, okay, sorry. Like, I get very dramatic when I'm reading, but I was like, then I said, Jesus Christ, damn it, what did you do that for? Oh, my God. And I was like, oh, look, I went through a whole bunch of
You talk back to the television screen, too, right?
Yeah, and when I go to the theater, Not unless it's like Equalizer. Like when the Equalizer comes out with Denzel Washington, I will go see the movie when it first comes out because I love him and I love his movies. But normally I try to go on the third day because like in the movies, like I'll be clapping and laughing and I'll be like, kick his ass, come on, get with it. And people will be like, man, really? And I always say, you know what? We all paid the same price. So I'm going to need you to be quiet because if you don't, you talk a lot. Nobody asked you to sit by me, did they? I told you. I did. I told when people said, I said, I told you I talk a lot. You should probably sit someplace else. I pre-warn you. You didn't want to. So yeah, there you go. Be quiet. You know. So I'm not the person who like. Because I tell you, when you come to me, I talk a lot in the theater. I really do because I feel like I need to do something for my $14 ticket. Okay.
Well, you're enjoying it. You're enjoying yourself.
And if you people want to respect the rules, and I don't have my cell phone on at least, so I'm going to need y'all to be quiet.
Right.
But so let's go on to our next topic. This is funny. So, you know, everybody obviously knows by now that I'm not going to end up getting a date, not unless Jesus comes home and Satan becomes an angel. So that's just how it's going to go for me. But I have noticed when I travel to different places that the people's attitude and their morals when it comes to marriage and relationships and will they cheat on their spouse are different. Now, as I said earlier, I went to South Dakota. Who goes to South Dakota? Mm-hmm. I've gotten that from black people, white people, and Chinese people. Like, is something wrong with me going to South Dakota? I know that it does not have a lot of minorities there, but South Dakota, those people got some morals. They got some morals, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I can tell you, I was in South Dakota, and I was sitting in a bar. I'm sitting there by myself, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Guy comes up to me, was talking to me, said, are you married? And I said, no, I'm not. He said, oh, good, then I'll talk to you. I was like, okay. Then a lady comes, sits next to us, and we're all at the same bar, open bar, no big deal. She starts talking to him, and actually she was really flirting with him. And he said, are you married? And she goes, well, he goes, oh, my God, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, I said, sir, why are you being like that? He goes, no, I'm not talking to married women. You know what? They need to be on their own. They need to stay with their man, or they need to get out of it. But until they're out of it and they have divorce papers, I'm not going for that. I'm not being bothered by that. And I was like, okay. And so I asked the lady, I said, so why were you flirting with it? So we ended up with this whole conversation. She goes, well, I'm married, but, you know, I think my husband's cheating. And we both looked at her like, and so why not ask him or confront him, but why are you in the bar trying to do the same thing he's doing, if that's what you think?
Right. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right. Now, we fast forwarded. That was in 2016. I went to South Dakota. Beautiful place, beautiful people. Oh, my God, they're so friendly. I mean, the people were just lovely. I mean, I think I liked them because we always got a lot of free food. People were, like, buying me drinks, food, because they were just amazed that I came to South Dakota by myself, okay, because I'm crazy. And they were just interested a black person would come to South Dakota. And I was like, well, you know, it's South, whatever. I wanted to see Mount Rushmore. That was my goal. I wanted to see it.
Right.
There's history with Mount Rushmore. A lot of people don't know that Mount Rushmore was built with dynamite, being precisely set and not full sticks of dynamite. Yeah, it was. So I really was just into that. Then now we're in Kingman, Arizona yesterday, where I had to leave Las Vegas because I'm just turning 54. I'm my birthday, not having a date coming up, and I'm just like, you know what? Let's just go drive. So I start to feel better about everything. Get to Kingman, Arizona, and I was going to go to Flagstaff. I said, you know what? I saw Route 66, and I love Route 66. Anybody knows history? You know that Route 66 goes through so many states, and it means so much to people. You have to know the history. Do you know what I mean, right, Miss Denise? Right, like.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, like Route 66. I don't even know how to explain this for people who don't understand. If you never went on a drive with your parents and them pinching you, reaching over from the seats and pinching you because you asked for the millionth time, are we there yet? Okay, because I'm telling you.
Can we stop and go to the bathroom? Right?
I don't care if I just went. I'm hungry again, okay? Can you guys feed me? And you don't say that in a black family car because you know what's going to happen to you. Your mom's going to reach over that seat and whoop you as she's driving and keep in the same lane. So, you know what I do? And she'll be saying, child, didn't I just feed you? Well, you know what? Oh, my God, Sabrina, no, Katrina, whatever your name is, you don't just that's going to be quiet. You should be glad that you got, oh, my God, here we are, we're thinking about we're at church, okay? So that's Route 56. It's beautiful. It goes through many states, many mountains. It's a beautiful thing to drive through and see. But now we're toward to Kingman, Arizona, right? And I'm walking through and I see cars, and I love old cars. And and they have this. I didn't know until I got there they have a car show the third Saturday of the month. And so I'm walking, and I see one guy. He's with his girlfriend, and I swear to God, he winks at me. And I thought maybe something got in my eyelash, like in my eyelash cell. I swear to God, because I was like, no, he did not. He was holding her hand, and so I looked back, and he did it. I was like, oh my God, okay. That's wrong. I mean, he's holding her hand, and she's just oblivious. I'm like,
and
wow.
She's smiling.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's smiling. I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, I was gonna go back, but I was like, no, let me leave her alone. You know, it's random. You're supposed to be figured out. You're 54, right? Going on 54.
Yeah.
So I see all the cars. I walk about 3 blocks because I love cars, and I'm like, okay. So now I get back on the other side of the sidewalk, and I come to this brewery, and I'm thirsty now. And I love breweries and I love coffee shops because, you know, it's interesting how when a brewery, a bar is a bar, but a brewery actually makes their own beer, which I just found out recently. And so I think that's an interesting concept because I remember the first time I went in a brewery and I said, okay, well, just give me a Coors. And the guy looked at me like, okay, what's wrong with you? And I was like, is there something wrong? He's like, don't you see all these beers that we're making? He was like, ma'am. I was like, so you don't have Coors or what's the problem? He's like, no, ma'am. So he explained to me. So now I understand. So you walk in, and I'll post pictures of it on Facebook. But walk in, and I said, oh, my God. You know, so I asked the lady. They had a beer that this is supposed to be this awesome beer. But I asked her, I said, I need this it has to be gluten-free, basically, because I think I'm allergic. They think I'm allergic to some of the wheat in beers, right?
Okay.
And the sad thing that what happens there is I needed to know because when I take beer in, my whole body heats up to over 100 degrees, and I want to get naked. That wouldn't have been very appropriate in Kingman, Arizona, or no place. And I'm being serious.
No.
I start to lose my mind. I start to lose my mind. I get a little delirious, and I explained to her, and she says, oh, my God. Of course, the men at the bar were like, well, we're okay with that. I said, I'm sure you are, but I'm not. So,
I'm sure.
Because I need people to pay me to see my stuff, okay? That's what I said jokingly. So we're in there, and we go back, and so I talked to one guy. He's there. He's a traveling doctor. So I end up sitting with him. So I get the beer that was gluten-free. It tastes great, fantastic beer, amazing beer, really. I mean, but it was really stronger than wine, but it was great. We went toward the back and the way back where they have shows and stuff, and we're just sitting there. We start talking to this lady, and she's engaged, but she's flirting with her friend, the bartender, okay? Right. About an hour later, her husband comes through in his big, giant truck, spying on her. I'm like, oh, my God. Then another guy, now the guy I'm with that I'm just talking to, he hears her say he's engaged, but he's like, well, because she sells real estate. He goes, well, take my number and call me because I want to buy some houses. And she winks at him, and he winks at her. And I'm like, okay, there must be a winking thing going on in this town because they crazy. So
that's trouble brewing.
I said to him, you heard she was engaged. He goes, I know, but it's just property I want to buy. They both laugh. And I go, okay. So he ends up going, because he has a car in a car show, we end up going back seeing his car, and I walk back with her. And she said, oh, you're such a nice lady. Why don't you come talk? Because I've been talking to her daughters and everything, and I wasn't very ready to leave, and it was getting late. And I had 1 or 2 beers, and I said, you know what, Sabrina, it's probably best if you stay here. You know, I don't want to drive, right. And I wasn't a but I needed to, lay down. So I found an Airbnb, and well, she helped me find an Airbnb, which is interesting. And then and I started talking to her. I said, so you heard that guy heard you tell him he was married. She goes, I know, but it just happens that, and this is what she said, because I'm so pretty that, you heard me, right? I'm like, I'm so pretty. There's not a lot of pretty girls in this town. The guys just get infatuated with me. I said, have you heard the word no? Like telling them no, you're getting engaged. And she goes, I know, but I just don't want to hurt their feelings. I said, no, you're just trying to have a side dude in case your dude doesn't work out. She started laughing. You're so funny. She goes, you're funny. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's the truth. And she goes, no. So she was like, oh, my God, I just love you. I was like, wow, because I told her the truth. What? Okay, I don't know. But so then her man comes. He comes, and he sits down, starts talking to her and me, and then he says to me, starts questioning me, and he's like, so are you from here? I was like, no, I'm, from Nevada. I told him the story why I'm here. He goes, oh. He goes, well, did you see her talking to anybody else? And I said, who's her? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right. Why you trying to pull me in?
Like, by woman. I'm like, well, to tell you the truth, sir, I was drinking my beer. I don't know. I'm just here on vacation. I don't get into other people's stuff. I mean, there was a lot of guys around. I don't know who was talking to who, to tell you the real truth. And I'm not trying to be in the middle of people's things and in situations.
Right.
And this is what I said. I understand that you're in a fight with her right now because of an argument. He looks at her and laughs. He goes, you told her? She goes, yeah, I did. And I said, so it sounds like you two need to go figure it out and don't be bringing strangers into this mix because I don't want to get into this. And I was like, and it sounds like this little Kingman, Arizona, that you guys have a lot of relationships issues and people are not sure who's with who, and then somebody wants to be with somebody who's with somebody else. Sounds like you need to work it out. And he says to me, are you a psychologist? I go, no. I'm working on something that way, but no. And he goes, well, you're very smart. I said, yeah, it seems like you guys probably should get out of here and go someplace else. And they said, well, we're going to go to eat dinner. And I said, well, they said, well, you want to come with me? I said, no, thanks. I'm really good. Appreciate it. But you asked me to come, and I was like, no. And then they later came back, and I was still there. And they said, they came back and they thanked me. And they said, we want to thank you for not getting in the middle of our situation. A lot of people in this town, because it's a small town, everybody wants to get on somebody's good side, or it's almost like the town is split on everything. And he said, but your words of you guys need to work it out together and figure it out because you guys are supposed to be getting married in 2019. You guys need to figure this out because everybody's not going to be in the big room with you, and everybody's not going to be here. And so then he says to me, they both said, well, how old are you? You're like, what, 35, 40? I was like, no, I'm going to be 54. And they go, wow, you know what? You're wise for your age. I go, yeah. I said, I'm going to tell you something. When I went to South Dakota and I told them the story, it seems like people there really preserve the old-fashioned morals. And today I saw in this city where there's a lot of people who are not even okay with themselves, and they want to go ruin it for somebody else, and even the person, and then these two people start talking together, and they want to ruin it for other people. And the thing is, if you're not happy with somebody, then you need to move on. Because you need to move on,
and you need to let them know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah. And I said, because if you're not, and I said, for the two of you, nobody's asking me, but I'm going to tell you, you two need to really, really, I thank them for coming back and talking to me. You two need to really go away together, talk for a couple of days, and really figure out why you two are getting married, what's going on, do you really want to get married, or is this the thing about the two people who have the most money in the town, and they're the most, because they are really gorgeous, both of them, and they're the most beautiful people in the town, that you're getting together like that. What are you getting together for? Because you need to figure it out. Because, dude, you driving up in that big truck looking down, you were fine. You laughed. It's like, so if you don't trust her, then why are you with her? And if I understand, you guys both just got divorced and are now getting married, right? And he goes, wow,
they probably should have waited. They probably should have both waited, time.
Yeah, I just but the thing is, what I guess the point is, Miss Denise, is that I see that's one of the reasons I like traveling, because I see different states, literal states,
yes,
and people have in cities and little towns. The code of conduct is
wait until you go overseas. That's a whole different animal.
Well, I've heard, because I'm going to Copenhagen, Denmark in 2020, that They said I'm going to be whoa. It's hard. It's going to be really, because men don't like to be told no there. So, like,
well, you know what? That's my route. It's Amsterdam, and I'm always over there, and it is a whole different ball game. They got a whole different idea about what's right and what's wrong.
Wow. No, I'm going over in 2020 because I love Denmark, because they have a museum, and a lot of Denmark was based on the Vikings literary history, and that's how it became on the map. So I love that, and I found a really great hotel and everything to stay in, and the tours and stuff. But there were a lot of people who were like, make sure that you stay with somebody or two, because it's very different. And it's not like here where you go. Like you go off on your own. Like I just go off on my own all the time driving. It's not like that. It's not like that in some of the foreign countries. Don't go to Spain or don't go to Greece doing that. Or it's not something you want to do by yourself, because you know what? It's very different. Not saying somebody's going to murder you, but it's very different. And it's in the United States, yes, people are, women are attacked and stuff, but in the overseas, sometimes they don't go by those same rules and standards that they go here. So,
exactly.
I try to keep that in mind when I'm going off of my, it was funny though, yesterday I did have to be a little cautious again on morals. I'm leaving, and the couple was helping me, give me directions to the Airbnb, because they helped me find it. But I noticed there was a guy sitting on the bar stool, and he walks out. As I walk out, he goes, "Did you need me to help you get there? I know exactly where that is." And I'm like, "No, thank you, though."
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell? Who was even talking to you? But it's just a funny thing is you have to even be cautious. He says, "Well, I can follow behind you because it's a dark road." And I says, "Oh, no, I'm okay." And so what I did is I went and got in my car, waited, and watched his car go off, but went a totally different way for about 5 minutes, and then came back to my route to make sure he's gone. Because sometimes, unfortunately, people, and I hate to say this, but we women sometimes, we know things can happen to us, and we just go lolly-da. But I'm going to tell you, I did feel a little bit nervous about that last night, and I did.
Yeah.
I was like taking precautions.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, because I'm
when you travel, especially, because people think, when they go to a foreign country, it's just like, oh, I'm an American. Well, guess what? The American rules don't necessarily apply when you're in a foreign country.
Oh, no. I went to
Haiti.
I went to Haiti and Dominican Republic, and let me tell you what. We were met by their military, and we were there as missionaries to build a church when I was 18. And if it wasn't for myself being so heavy at the time, we'd probably been treated bad. But they were in the era of Donnie and Marie, and they saw me, and they said, "Oh my God, you're a queen because you're fat." That's what they said. We love fat women. They gave us everything. I was like, really? I wish I was Donnie and Marie. Like, stop. But but the thing is, we had the military that were watching us. Your freedom, we have in the United States, and I know everybody, black, white, or blue or green, we argue about that, but let everybody that's in the United States go to a foreign country, especially Dominican Republic, Africa, Japan, or China, for over a week or 2 months, and see, don't you come back and start kissing the ground, and we will stop all this fighting.
No, yeah, exactly. My nephew is 22, and that's the one, the videos of the dancer boy.
Right.
He went to Ecuador with a church mission, and he experienced, that was his first out-of-country experience. And he came back, and he was like, "Auntie, wow, I never knew." I go, "I know you didn't, and now you do." It's a different world. Everyone should at least experience something out of the country once. I went to India, and we see Bollywood or the Bollywood movies, and we think, "Oh, it's so beautiful." No, India is not that beautiful. There are beautiful parts.
Yes, it's beautiful, but people don't understand. with the caste system, it's based on your rank, your education, and you're not allowed for the rest of your life. If your parent was a maid, you're going to be a maid. You don't change over. You don't. So like here, if my dad was a doctor and I want to be a mechanic, that's okay because we're in the United States. But there, you're in the caste system, and I don't care. If you go out of it, there's so many problems. How women are treated. I don't care. And I know we have so much disrespect for women here, and we think there's a lot of disrespect. But you go to some of these other foreign countries, as a woman, it's just right now that Saudi Arabia in the last month is allowing women to vote and to get driver's license.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we're in 2018. So I'm going to tell you, if we take everybody that's in the United States and trade people with them to go to a foreign country, try China, and we start talking crap about the president. Lucky if you get out of prison when your grandkids are born, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, that stuff is not tolerated. Even when I was in Haiti, you don't talk about the president of Haiti. You don't say anything bad. If people are listening, you will get taken and get something happen to you. It's not what people think. So, and it's like when people, you have to, everybody one time should experience a foreign country because right now when people tell me, oh, the U.S. is, oh, my God, go to a foreign country for a month and then come back and tell me the U.S. because you know what? The U.S., we may have our problems. We definitely do.
Yes.
And putting your ass in jail for some stupid crap. I'm going to tell you that. I mean, like, seriously, you would, I mean, not, there's a lot of wrong that happens, and I know that black men are put in prison for a longer time for some of the same crimes that are ridiculous that they shouldn't be. But some of these foreign countries, they don't care what color you are. If you're American, you do wrong, sometimes you stay over there. And America ain't coming to get you.
No,
they're not. They're going to stay. You're going to stay over there. So when you do wrong, or like people, because I'm finishing up my last 2 classes for travel agents, and one of the things I didn't know that we have to make sure that when somebody has a passport and it's within 6 months of expiring, if you let them get on a plane to a foreign country, they are technically traveling on an expired passport, and they don't have to be let back in.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know that. So guess who's going to fit the bill for them having to order a new passport? Because you did not tell them that so if your passport is within 6 months of expiring, you need to get it renewed. It's expired technically.
I need to go look at mine.
Because I'm going to tell people, because they don't have to let you back in, because technically, even though it's not said, technically, you're flying on an expired passport. So say you're in a foreign country in 6 months, and you're there for 5 months, because some people do, you're not going to be coming back until you get a new passport.
Wow.
Okay?
Did not know that.
And you know what? So unless you want to play and that would be on the travel agent. So say you didn't have a travel agent who had to fit those bills costs, you're fitting the bill for expediting. I mean, so that's, and the thing, you can't go to the consulate because they're going to say, look, this is your passport, you should know better. Some countries won't even let you in because they'll say no. They'll be like, no, sorry. Canada won't even let you in. They'll say no, sorry, not happening.
Wow.
So you don't have to cross over. You'll just lose that part of your vacation, and hopefully it wasn't $2,000 or something. I mean, I'm learning a lot about, again, through traveling, but just through reading a lot. We have such freedom here that we don't even recognize that. I mean, I think everybody should go over China and see that army that is bigger than everybody.
Yeah, and they can't even do Facebook, when you're over there. I've got friends who fly and, they spend the night over there or whatever, and they have a hard time just getting on Facebook. Our hotel sort of caters to us because we're flight people, but they have a hard time just getting on Facebook to say, hey. It's censored. Everything is censored.
And I think it was it China or Japan? One of them shut down a whole ISPS internet provider for people, and nobody even got notice of it until it happened. So I remember hearing that. So I'm just like, I don't know. I guess this part of what I want everybody to understand is that, one, when you travel in foreign places, don't be using that as America, because sometimes when you say you're American, they'll take you to but just to be taking you to prove a point. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. You're American,
that's even
huh?
worse. You think you all that? Okay. Yeah.
If you don't, when you go to other countries, know the rules. Like women, like I'm going actually to Dubai. I'm trying to go in 2019, but I know in Dubai that I'm going to travel with a group. I'm going to have my headgear, my face gear for my face in certain parts, and then I do wear a skirt, even though technically they have where the Americans, they do that, but I want to be considered as adhering to the culture so that I'm not looked at as odd. And I know sometimes people are like, well, I'm American. No, when you go to another country, do as the country do, not as you think that you should. Because
not as you think you should do.
Yeah, and I'm telling people, like when you go to Haiti or Dominican Republic, even to this day, never overdress or be pretentious, because those people, they don't care and they will steal from you. Or if they don't like you, and believe me, I saw this in fact, they will voodoo your butt. And if you think those voodoo dolls don't work, I'm going to tell you.
That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother book.
Okay, I'm telling you. So people, don't be playing with people, because sometimes you be like your hair be twisted and your neck be choked, okay, and you didn't even see nobody do it. Just so
right. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother book.
I'm telling you, because people be just, somebody wrote a book on that I would read that, because I'm going to tell you what, I've seen that, and we were witnessing to the voodoo people, and they were hilarious, but they take their stuff seriously, okay?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's an opening up of the mind or whatever, but I'm telling you, I've seen it happen, okay? So people hear missing, and you know what? Just so people know. And today we've been talking about 3 different things, but it all comes together. Just so you know, at the end of the day, just as much as God is real, Satan is real.
Absolutely.
And he will fight for your spirit just as much as God fights for it. So know that he has the capability to do things and to put people in places just like God to call for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not on track where you're supposed to be or what you think that you're supposed to be doing, you can get caught up in some stuff really quickly and wonder, oh, my gosh, how did this happen? Because Satan is real.
He is real. And he is alive, and he's active. He's busy. He's busy now more than I think he's ever been with all this crazy stuff going on. Because people are not listening to God.
No. And they have the air conditioner going down in hell right now because they're so busy causing torment on earth. He's like, I'll give you guys the air conditioner right now because you're doing good. That's my opinion.
That's awesome.
Just saying. I mean, because you have to be. They must have the air conditioner down there because they're doing really good here. And then he must, because I'm telling you, some bad things are happening. Think about it. And God did say that he will let his people go to their own demise. God's not caring. He's just doing what people let him do what they want to do.
He's letting you have that free will. It's free will that we want as human beings.
Yep. Well, we don't have to. We can go ahead and make your own choices, because right now they have air conditioning in hell, and you won't be getting air conditioning when you're there. I'm just saying. That's just my perception. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the first one going to hell as far as I'm concerned. But at least I know Satan will give me back to God, because I'm going to talk to him too much about stuff, and he's going to say, you've got to leave.
He's going to be like, okay, can't do this. You got to go.
Denise read a book about this. She's going to say, because she's got to go. How did Sabrina went in there and turned fell over? Because I'm telling you right now, he'd be like, no, you've got to go. Because nobody's this bad at all.
You are hysterical.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, you know what? It has been a great show, Denise. You made my life happier just reading this book. I mean, it made me really think, and I love to think, and like I said, I researched other serial killers and things. Like I said, that's why I know if I go to prison, I'm going to be a serial killer. So if I ever killing something, I'm going to prison to be a serial killer. But I'm just telling you, you really are. You're a prolific writer. You're a great writer. You have a great personality, even speaking to you on the phone. And at times I have talked to you on the phone in private, and you really make people laugh, and you are funny, and you bring life to things. And I'm just honored that you came here, and I look forward to meeting you in person and really seeing you. And I'm going to be praying literally that this book gets more notoriety so that people can see this. This would be actually one of the great, like some of these movies out here that they have now, they're supposed to be scary. If they don't scare me and I bring my blanket and I'm looking at my blanket and my bear like we didn't even get any action, I'm just sad. Because the bear
I love the blanket and the bear.
I mean, I seriously do. I'll take a picture next time because people like, my blanket and bear. Don't judge me. I'm telling you.
I love it. I love it. I have a bear too, but I don't have a blanket.
Yeah. Nowadays, the movies are not like I'm not getting able to squeeze the bear and put the blanket over my head. Nowadays, I'm like, who made this movie? Really? I'm just done. This is supposed to be horror and scary.
I really that is my for this particular book, and maybe for the next one. It is my ultimate dream to get it out there on the big screen because I when I wrote it, I thought, oh, this ain't gonna scare nobody. But like I said, my mother was the queen of horror, and when she got done reading it, she was like, okay, this scared the shit out of me. What did I do this? I'm like, well, yeah. So for her to tell me it scared her was all I ever needed. And I really would love to see this on the widescreen. It'd be great.
You know what? I forgot to tell the story of the shoes. Okay, so you guys, you have to read this in the book. But part of the book I was reading, and one day I was washing my Converse shoes because they got dirty, and I wash them like every 3 days. So I had washed them, put them in the washer, and then I put them on the dryer to dry, and I come back out to get something, and I swear they were smoking. You have to read the book to understand. I ran from my shoes. I'm like, oh, my God, Albert's in the house.
I remember you told me that.
Oh, do you remember you telling me?
I remember you telling me that.
They were smoking. I mean, you have to read the book to understand, but they were literally smoking more than they should have been. Or maybe I was reading the book too much, but I swear to God, they were smoking. And I swear, and I think they looked like one of them. You have to read this in the book, too. One of them had gold wings on them. I'm like, Sabrina, stop it. Just stop. just come on. And then another time, I'm looking in the mirror, and I could have swore that 2 people were in back of me in the bathroom, looking in the mirror with me. I'm like, okay, Sabrina, you know what? You need to get out of this house and stop playing. That's just, I'm telling you, if a book can do that to you, that is a great book. Because I ended up having to put those shoes on. I needed them for the next day. I'm like, okay, Sabrina, don't be going and killing nobody, okay? Put the shoes on, tie them up, and come on. And, you know, a couple of times during the day, I looked down at my feet to make sure they were still on. You have to read the book to understand the reference, too. And I'm like, because I'm just saying, people, I'm telling you right now, it was just, you're laughing at me, but it was some serious stuff going on over here. And I was like, those shoes. And when I put them on, I kept looking down at my feet. Okay, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble right now. And then I'm just going to say, I'm going to blame the shoes. They were sitting on the dryer. They were smoking.
Blame the shoes. That's it.
And it was all because this book I read, and their shoes maybe came out of the book. I don't know. So at this point, you guys can't really convict me for many crimes I did with these shoes on my feet. So I'm just saying. It was hilarious. Oh, I love it. That is a good book because the only other time that's happened, do you remember the movie The Exorcist?
Yes.
Okay, so my mom had always had a rule. She never took me to scary movies. She broke that rule when I was 10 years old, okay? Now, mind you, 3 days before, I had just gotten over a fever that was over 105, and I saw 7-Up bottles walking and talking to me. To this day, I still remember those 7-Up bottles talking to me. That's when my mom realized my child was psychotic or she's sick. Took me to the hospital. I had meningitis. But so 3 days later, we went to see The Exorcist. 3 days after that, Mom, the attic is open. I keep seeing little eyes peep out. Sabrina, stop this. No, Mom, I swear. I wake up at night screaming, Mom, they're coming out of the attic. We had to literally move from that house about 3 months later after we saw that movie. My mom said, if you ever see you or hear you going to a movie until you're 18 years old, I'm going to kill you myself, okay? I'm like, okay.
That's what moms should do.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I said, are you going to, bury me? She's like, oh, my God, stop it, Sabrina. No scary movies. And you know what? That is a sign of a good movie when you can have that much impact on a person's brain, or a good book where you can impact them, where they can actually, their mind can start working and doing those things. That is a good book, because you know what? That means that book is in their psyche and it meant a lot to them. So I'm praying for good things for you, and I pray that God just helps you, continue to write long, for the future.
Thank you
have
so
many
much.
blessed books. And your company and the company works with you have many beautiful things, and I just appreciate you, and fly safe. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys real soon, so we can come. You guys can come to Vegas, and I can make you guys really laugh really hard and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And when you hit Copenhagen, let me know, because you got to come through Amsterdam first.
All right, I'm just so excited about this. I really have. I have really been planning Copenhagen and planning it and saving and now that I'm a travel agent, some of the things are going to be a little cheaper for me, but I'm just really excited because I'm literally going to be over there for 14 days. I'm actually, part of it is I'm going to Brussels, too, on the last part of the trip.
Cool.
But I'm just really, really excited to really see that city and stay for that long. Because, when you go someplace like that, you don't want to just go for a week. You really want to.
You can't do it. You want to immerse yourself.
Right. I really want to see that, and I'm not, and I'm like, if I'm going to ever start traveling overseas, I'm going to places for 2 weeks at a time. One of my friends does that, and I used to ask them why until I started traveling. I went to South Dakota for 7 days, and I could have probably used 3 more days because I missed 2 or 3 things that I wanted to do. When you go, again, who goes to South Dakota? But South Dakota is all about the presidential history. That's the best thing I can tell people. If you want to know the presidential history, go to South Dakota, because that's what it is. Copenhagen, again, is that history for me. But it's a beautiful, beautiful, and there's so many other things to do. So I really want to see that. Yes, and I will let you know, because I'll be like, okay, Denise, come see me. Bring me another book.
And by that time, it should be out and rolling, girl. It should be out and rolling.
All right. Well, Miss Denise, thank you for tuning in and rolling with the Diva, and for being our guest. We appreciated you. I am just blessed to have you. As soon as it uploads to the system, I will put it out there for you to post. You're an amazing author. And anybody who listens to this, please go. You can buy the book on Amazon or the other places that Miss Denise said, and get this book. It's just it's an easy read. It's a great book. It has a lot of, you would look at it and say, oh, it's not a lot of pages, but it has a lot of information, and it's a great story in this book. And I love it. I mean, it brings together good and evil, and I love that. And this young lady is going to be one of the most amazing writers. And you guys are going to see her big time. I really believe that. And just thank you, Miss
Sabrina.
Yes, you're welcome. And give hugs to your mom, and tell your nephew, hey, if he wants to come on the show and talk about what he does, his dancing, come on over, dance his way over, because you know what?
There you go.
I'm being serious. Love to hear from him. I mean, I see him dancing and doing his thing. I'm like, you know what? He's cracking me up. I wonder if that's a family trait. They just be making people laugh all the time. So tell him to come on over. I mean, seriously, my show.
I will do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, seriously, I love it. So
because girl, look, I'm trying to get him off my payroll and on his own.
Hey, you know what? Tell him to come on over so we can get him out, and we can, because this show, a lot of people don't realize, and I try to say it, but once this show is up and done, then it goes to another radio show on Jerry Royce Live, which has 1.3 to 4 million listeners, and then Elations Radio, which is a pre-recorded podcast through iHeartRadio, and so
wow.
and then I post this. Yesterday I went and posted the last 16 shows I did. I put those on Instagram on LinkedIn, because a lot of people do look at LinkedIn and love it. So I just put the links out there. So I try to, I always post from Instagram, which posts to Facebook and Twitter, and then I just try to post out to as many sites as I can that I use, that I like, and just trying to help people get their passion out there, their life dreams. Because you know what? It's all about helping somebody else. I mean, your book really, seriously helps me. It just really, I love it. So I figured, you know what? Why not help people get their goals and passions? Because through it, it's so fun. And yeah, definitely. I network, and everybody knows there's no charge to come on my show. Just come on over, and as long as you're not like a Satan worshiper, we can have you on the show. If you're totally believe in Satan, I'm going to probably need you not to be on the show, because that's just not going to go with my theme.
Totally no.
Thank
you again, Miss Sabrina. You are awesome.
Oh, no, you are, and we love you, and we'll see you on Facebook, and we'll see you soon. All right, you guys, starting off with Rolling with the Diva. Have a great, great rest of the week, and tune in tomorrow for Sheila Moore. Bye, you guys.